What's up, everybody? My name is Lou Reyes, and welcome to Over 50 TV. You know, over the last 6 or 7 weeks, I have talked to well over a dozen people, and I probably received at least that many emails from folks who are wondering. They're wondering if they should be sending out their resume or going on job interviews, or just basically they wonder how the unemployment, this high unemployment, is affecting or will affect their job search. Well, one of the emails I received, I decided I'm just going to share that with you because it's typical. It's typical of what I'm hearing, and the answer that I give this person, this woman, I think will help you. It'll help you to decide if you want to pursue your job search, if you want to send out resumes. That, my friend, that answer, that's up next right here on Over 50 TV. Welcome back to Over 50 TV. And before the break, I told you that I wanted to read an email I received from a woman. She's concerned about the high unemployment rate and how that affects the job search. I'm going to call the woman Alice only because I don't want to use Alice's real name. Let me go ahead and read the email to you. And again, it's just typical of what I've been hearing. And certainly I can understand people are concerned about the high unemployment rate. And they're thinking, why am I going to waste my time when I'm reading that 38 million people are filing for unemployment? So here we go. She says, I'm 56 years old. For the last year, I've been working for a coffee wholesaler as the accounts payable manager. Well, number one, I read that and I'm thinking, well, I'm happy that you are not one of those 38 million plus people who filed for unemployment. She says, I took the position because I was desperate, but I don't like working for this company. Never do anything out of desperation. I don't know what her situation was. I'm sure she did what she needed to do for her. So, you know what, you can't blame her. She says, I want to start looking for a new job, but would I be wasting my time since the unemployment rate is so high? What do you think? First, let me say that I am glad that you have a job. Second, I'm sorry that this job didn't work out, but you know what? A lot of us, we take jobs, people take jobs, and after a while they realize it just isn't a good fit. Something, though, that did concern me when I was reading your email and you said that you took this job because you were desperate. Well, I'm hoping that you're not desperate now, because one thing we know is that when we're desperate, we feel anxiety, our stress level goes way up, and very often we make rash decisions that we come to regret. So it's important to find a way to be positive about where you're at. And I'm going to suggest a couple things here. First, what I want to say is appreciate the fact that you do have a job and that you're not one of the 38 million people out there who have filed for unemployment.
Data out Thursday showed 2.4 million more Americans filed for unemployment benefits last week. That's roughly the size of the city of Houston.
Second, and this is something that I learned a long time ago when I first started out in business. I had a part-time job. I was working at a call center, and I was working there, and I was sitting, and I just hated that job. I hated it. And about 4 or 5 seats down from me was a young guy, and I looked over at him, and I was saying, man, I just don't want to be here. And he looked at me, and he said these words, and I will never forget it. He said, Lou, this is a means to an end. Well, Alice, this job for you, consider this a means to an end. It's a temporary blip on your work history. You're there, you don't like it. Unfortunately, we've got the coronavirus economy that's kind of hovering over us and kind of stymieing us right now. But this job is a means to an end. So keep those two things in mind. You've got a job and it's a means to an end. So let's talk about how the high unemployment rate is affecting your job search. Let's put it in perspective. I'm going to use an imaginary scale here. On one side, we know 38.6 million people have filed for unemployment. We know that businesses are slowly starting to reopen. That means hiring is going to be slow. We also know the University of Chicago, they did a study. They're saying there are 3 new hires for every 10 people who have been laid off. It's a horrible ratio. So this side of the coin, this side of the scale basically is saying, hey, the job search is going to be tough and it's going to be difficult. So now let's look on the other side of the scale. We know that 3 U.S. automakers and Toyota and Honda, they recently recalled 130,000 workers. We know that grocery stores, delivery, warehouses are some of the industries that are hiring. They're hiring in large, large numbers. We also know that people who have specific skills are getting hired. So the job search, depending on the industry you're in, depending on the kind of job that you want, you're not looking in vain for a position. So let me sum this up for you. And the question really started out by saying, how does a high unemployment rate affect your job search? Well, there's no question that it's going to affect the job search. I think it affects us more mentally.
The worst number of people unemployed since the Great Depression.
To 20%, and the labor force participation rate at its lowest level since 1973, simply stunning.
The U.S. lost more than 20 million jobs just in the month of April, making it the worst jobs report on record.
People, when they're watching this data, they're seeing these news shows that are saying unemployment filings, they come out every Thursday, they see unemployment filings are 2 million, 3 million. People think, geez, no one's going to be hiring. But people are companies, businesses will hire. They are hiring slowly. Keep your name in front of the companies. Send out your resume. Make a phone call. I always recommend doing that. I know there are people out there who don't think, you should call, but I recommend calling. You want to be proactive, and the best way to be proactive is to make a phone call that company. If in their ad they say no phone calls, well, obviously, no, don't call. But be proactive, contact the companies. This is not a time to sit back and to relax and think, well, I'll wait till things get better. Because you know what? It may be a long time, and probably it's going to be a year or two before we really get back to our pre-coronavirus level where the economy was under 3% or right around 3% unemployment. So keep at it. But I will leave you with one word, and I want to use this, and I want to let you know what I believe you need to do. You need to practice. And the word is patience. Be patient. Just because you're not getting a response doesn't mean you're not going to get hired. This is Lou Reyes with Over 50 TV. If you would, please go ahead, subscribe to our channel. Do that by hitting that little red button. There's also a little bell. If you hit the little bell, you'll get notified every single time we put out a video, and you can check us out. There's also a thumbs up button. Hit that thumbs up button, because if you do that, it lets YouTube know that you enjoyed our video. And I think from what I'm hearing, YouTube will go ahead and promote our videos to other people as well. So listen, like I say to everybody, have a great day, everyone.